Welcome to another rousing edition of Entertainment Extra with yours truly, Joe Crawford, on RemicTV.com. Do you have pain? And I mean not the pain by watching this show and listening to me. But do you have chronic pain? Well, I'm going to tell you, our guest, Dr. Twogood, is going to be on here. And I know, too good to be true, maybe. Dr. Twogood is going to tell us how to get rid of chronic pain in 90 days, and it can happen, and hopefully will happen for you when we talk with Dr. Twogood later on in the show. You want to win $500? Maybe they'll take some of your pain away. Refer your friends to RemicTV.com and join in on our contest by inviting them, and the more friends you invite, the better chances you have at winning $500. And at our last month of the contest, you would be feeling no pain with winning $10,000. Woohoo! A lot of money we're giving away, and hopefully you can win it just by entering in, by inviting all your friends here to RemicTV.com. Scientists predict global warming will cause future generations of humans to shrink. If this trend continues, the great-great-great-great-grandkids of Tom Cruise will be tiny enough to hook on charm bracelets. The National Enquirer is being criticized for publishing a picture of Whitney Houston in her coffin. The National Enquirer will do anything to sell copies. I'm just surprised it wasn't a picture of Whitney's coffin being carried by Michael Jackson and Elvis Presley. The bad economy has even hit the Tooth Fairy. According to a survey published Friday, in 2011, the average cash gift from the Tooth Fairy was $2.10. That's down from last year of 42 cents from the previous year. And there's more bad news. The toenail clipping fairy doesn't even show up around even my house anymore. And now in stores, an iPhone that has a case, and your iPhone that can be charged in that case with solar power. Not really a new idea, I don't think. My grandpa had a beanie hat with a propeller on it, and it would spin around and charge his hearing aids. Our fact of the day. I know you're all maybe you're not worried. Maybe you are worried about December 21st, 2012. Ooh, the end of the world is going to come. Yeah, I don't believe in that. But they're saying there's a 95% chance of human extinction in the next 9,000 years. So 9,000 years from now, 95% chance of human extinction. That's great. Just another date to worry about 9,000 years from now. Stick around because we have Dr. Twogood on how to get rid of... I'm laughing because I'm thinking chronic pain. I'm thinking of me being in pain. And maybe you're being in pain listening to this. Dr. Twogood going to give us some tips, some hints, some help on how to get rid of the chronic pain that you may be having. Stick around on Entertainment Extra with Joe Crawford on RemicTV.com. Welcome back to Entertainment Extra with yours truly, Joe Crawford, here on RemicTV.com. And you've had to experience this at least once in your life. If not, you're experiencing it right now. And the best person to have on the show, we have Dr. Daniel Twogood. And he is a doctor all about pain. And Dr. Twogood, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, first of all, you are a doctor about chronic pain, and you've written a book about chronic pain, Gone 90 Days. Now, first of all, what's the difference between chronic pain and just regular pain?
Okay, we all know what regular pain is. We've all had it. You know, you've bonked your head or stubbed your toe or you know, strained your back or twisted an ankle. So we all know what pain feels like. We also know that pain, when we have a pain like that, like you stub your toe, it's going to hurt for a period of time and then it's going to go away in a reasonable period of time.
Right.
Most of us don't go to the doctor for those kinds of things. Chronic pain, on the other hand, feels exactly the same. You know, it can be a burn or a deep ache or or a stinging pain. The difference is that that pain doesn't go away. So while it looks the same as regular pain, the difference is it doesn't go away. And the reason is regular pain is caused by physical stress, like bending, lifting, twisting, falling, bonking your head, etc. Chronic pain may have the same start, but it keeps on going because of chemical stress. That is, it is propagated, it's ongoing inflammation caused by specific substances that cause chronic inflammation, that cause inflammation. And so while you can, if you hurt your back at work and you go on disability and you're not working and it still hurts, that's because there's a chemical factor involved, and it's a matter of figuring out what specific substance is propagating the inflammation and keeping it going. Okay,
so then with chronic pain, then like we've talked about lower back, so then it's pretty much any type of pain that is just still ongoing and can never, will never go away until we actually meet a doctor like yourself who expertise is in chronic pain. So then how does a doctor like yourself then eliminate this chronic pain then?
Again, we have to find out what the chemical factor is. One of the metaphors I use is if you have a campfire that's stoked with wood and you see the fire, which represents inflammation and pain, you know that if you don't put any more wood on it, the fire is eventually going to go out. And if you put water on it or dirt on it, you can speed up the process and make it go out. Whereas if you have a fire that has the same flame, the same inflammation that's from a gas leak, you can pour water on it or you can sit there and do nothing and it's not going to go out until the gas leak stops. So that's what chronic pain is. There is an ongoing inflammation caused by specific chemical substances that are in the diet and in medications that we take. So it took me years to put it together, but there are specific substances that cause chronic pain.
Now, with that then, what are some of the specific substances that are triggered by chronic pain?
Okay, whether you have, and the diagnoses don't matter to me, whether you have fibromyalgia, chronic low back pain, sciatica, rheumatoid arthritis, all of these chronic conditions are chemically induced. And by far, of all those conditions, the #1 cause is a specific protein called casein, C-A-S-E-I-N. Now, some people think I mean all proteins, but no, this is a specific protein that's the main protein in milk and dairy foods, everything made from cow's milk. So that specific protein causes 60 to 70% of all cases of chronic pain are caused by just that substance. And if people can eliminate casein in milk and dairy foods, which is a big list, that's milk and cheese and yogurt and ice cream, cottage cheese, ranch dressing,
oh, doctor, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. I tell the patients it's never lima beans. It's always something good. But by far, casein is the most common cause of chronic pain. Now, some non-dairy foods, many non-dairy foods also contain a substance called caseinate, C-A-S-E-I-N-A-T-E. That again is the milk protein. And you'll see that in non-dairy coffee creamers, the flavored coffee creamers like Cremora, Coffee Mate, Hazelnut, those kind of non-dairy, they call them creamers, still have caseinate, and that will still cause the inflammation. So it's also in soy cheeses and many protein shakes. So the most common cause of chronic inflammation is casein and caseinate in milk and dairy foods and those non-dairy foods that have caseinate.
So what are some of the good foods then that we are able to eat to avoid the casein?
Well, avoiding the casein is not that hard unless you really crave dairy foods, because it leaves tons of other foods. All we're talking about leaving out is the dairy foods and the non-dairy foods that have caseinate. So like for example, if you want to have a bowl of cereal, there's a new product on the market called Almond Breeze. It's an almond milk. There are soy milks like Silk and Mocha Mix, and those kind of plant-based milks are okay on your cereal. Now, the other thing I have to caution people about as far as casein and caseinate, that's the most common cause of pain. The most powerful cause of pain is chocolate. That's the killer. So anybody who reacts with, whether it's arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic back pain, or whatever, with casein and caseinate will also react to chocolate, only the reaction is worse. So in order to solve the problem, in whatever your chronic pain is, you have to totally eliminate 100% all dairy foods, all non-dairy foods with caseinate, and chocolate. That's the biggest bulk of people who have these problems. You're talking about 70 to 75% of people with chronic pain. That's all they need to do. Of course, there are other substances, and that's what we go into in the book.
Wow. Now, okay, then. So then, with having like the ongoing pain, there's medications like Advil and Tylenol and aspirin and that just makes a temporary pain go away. Then, so I guess then the best thing is to not take those pills and take away from the cateine. What's that word again?
Casein and caseinate.
Yeah, casein and caseinate. So then, so then it's best not even take the Advil and all that stuff. Then, correct?
Well, it depends. If you're in an inflamed condition and you have pain, you know, I'm anti-pills because, as we talk about in a few minutes, there are medications that can cause chronic pain too. But the anti-inflammatories like Advil and Motrin and naproxen and all of those, aspirin, they will give you some temporary relief. And so if you're in a lot of pain and you need some temporary relief, then go ahead and take one of those pills. But if you're having to take an anti-inflammatory every day, eventually what happens is you take that anti-inflammatory, it lowers the level of inflammation, it puts out that fire for a while, but when the pill wears off, your level of inflammation will come back even higher. So after a while, you're taking lots of pills just to feel lousy. So if you have to use a pill for a one-time incident like you sprained your ankle, then that's okay. But the long-term use of anti-inflammatories or any drug, which are all poison, will cause problems.
Dr. Twogood, we're speaking with you on Entertainment Extra on RemicTV.com. And Dr. Daniel Twogood is an author of a book called Chronic Pain Gone 90 Days. You have a copy there that we can...
I have a copy right here.
Yeah, Chronic Pain Gone in 90 Days. You have a copy there that we can...
I have a copy right here.
Yeah, Chronic Pain Gone in 90 Days. Now, why 90 days? What's so specific about 90 days?
Well, 90 days is stretching it. Actually, most symptoms will go away between 7 and 30 days, but 90 days is how long it takes to heal. For example, if you cut yourself or if you have any kind of injury, you watch what happens. It swells up, it hurts, but over the course of days and weeks, it gets better and better and better. Most cases of any kind of injury like that will be healed within 30 days, but what I've discovered is of the medications that cause pain, many of them it takes about 70, 80, 90 days to get out of the system. So if people will eliminate the 10 specific things I tell them to in the book, then and give it 90 days, they will see the changes much sooner than 90 days. But some medications, like I say, it takes about 90 days to get out of the system.
Wow. Now, what are some of these medications that can hinder around and cause more damage than good?
The main ones are the ones that are the #1 seller, by the way, which is you'll see on TV all the time. That's the pills for cholesterol. Cholesterol pills, which include Lipitor, Zocor, Mevacor, Pravachol, Crestor, Vytorin, Gemfibrozil, Zetia. I have to keep all these things in my head because these patients come in with problems. The most common problems to the statin drugs and the cholesterol pills are lower back pain, leg weakness, leg cramps, numbness, although it can affect any part of the body. Some people report that after they start taking those pills, they have aches and pains all over the body. But when we look at the causes of most chronic pain, like we said before, to reiterate, dairy foods and caseinate, which is in non-dairy foods, and chocolate, that's the most common. After that, there's another chemical substance in foods, in processed foods, called MSG. You may have heard of it. It's called monosodium glutamate.
And it's mostly found in the Chinese food.
Chinese food is where it's most famous for use, but a lot of people, when I tell them that MSG is a part of their problem, they say, well, isn't that banned? And no, quite the contrary. It's in Chinese food, but it's also in almost all soups and broths. It's in bouillon. It's in cup of soup, cup of noodle, TV dinners, canned soup, processed meats. It's in any breaded food you get in a restaurant. It's in many sauces like steak sauce, barbecue sauce, teriyaki sauce. It's widely used in many restaurants and in processed food. So when we go down the list, dairy foods, chocolate, and MSG cause 80 to 85% of most cases of chronic pain.
Now, with you then being the doctor and telling your patients of eliminating these out of their diet, then have you found a high success rate of people not having the chronic pain?
Oh, absolutely. The most difficult part is compliance. You know, when we go over the list of things they must avoid, a lot of them, you know, can't do it or won't do it or aren't willing to do it or doubt it or whatever. So we get about 50% compliance. Of the 50% of people who comply, 90 to 95% of them are totally better. In fact, it's the rare case the rare case that doesn't get better. We usually figure out what the chemical component of their chronic pain is and can eliminate it.
So then why are these companies putting all of this stuff in then, and when really it's causing more harm than good?
Because they will contest that, number one. There's a lot of research that says MSG is bad for you, and there's a lot of research that says, no, it's okay. What I say in the book is none of the research matters. The only study that matters is your own. You know, if I've had the experience to see these things causing pain, so what you do is you say, okay, well, I'm going to eliminate these things and see how I feel. If I feel better, then, you know, the studies don't matter. The other thing that convinces patients finally is when they follow the diet for a good 30, 60, 90 days and all their symptoms go away. They may not be convinced until that fateful day that they slip and have something chocolate or something dairy or something with MSG. And when they see the reaction once or twice or 3 times, they finally go, wow, this is true, isn't it? So I've seen it for 30 years, so I know that it's true. It's like turning a light switch on and off. Once you find that switch and you know that that's what's doing it, it's just a matter of convincing the patient that they've got to turn the switch off, turn the inflammation off by not feeding the inflammation with the substances that cause pain.
That is amazing. Wow. Chronic pain gone 90 days. And why has this not been mentioned anywhere else or brought up before with other people? Like, oh, you've been doing this for over 30 years, you said, but like here in Canada, like especially for my, like I'm only 27, so you've been practicing longer than I've been born. But why is this not more well known?
For several reasons. Number one, most doctors who write about the diet and its effect on health are very weak in their commitment to it. They won't make grandiose statements. They won't say you must avoid this. They'll say, you know, you might try cutting back on this or doing a little bit less of that. And so if you look at my title, it's a pretty grandiose claim, chronic pain gone 90 days. And that's because, number one, it's true. And number two, people ought to know this and find out that if they're committed to eliminating these substances, their symptoms will go away. The other thing is that there's nothing to sell here. You know, I can't make any money by saying, you know, chronic pain is caused by lack of my particular vitamin that I only manufacture and you need to get from me for 50 bucks.
Right.
And then people go out and buy those things. But the mentality in this country and probably in Canada and around the world now is that if there's anything wrong with you, whether it's a headache or a pimple or back pain or whatever, people have the mentality of, what can I take to make this go away? Is there a pill? Is there a supplement? Is there a potion, a salve, a protein shake? What can I take? Is there a specific food I can eat? Whereas my mentality is, if you're having a problem, what's causing it and what can you eliminate in order to get rid of your pain? It's sort of like if you were a lung doctor and a guy walks in who smokes 3 packs of Camels a day and asks you if there's something he can take for his cough. You know, you can say, well, yeah, we have cough suppressants, but you know what? You're coughing for a reason, and it would be better if you subtract, that is, quit the smoking, the coughing will go away. But again, that kind of mentality saying don't use these products doesn't sell a product. And so nobody's really motivated to do that, except I'm highly motivated. So if you get a hold of my book, you'll understand it and it makes sense, and you can go from there. You can find out more information about Dr. Daniel Twogood's book, author, again here, of his book, Chronic Pain Gone 90 Days. His website is www.chronicpainGone90days.com, and I believe that's where people can get access to your book, correct? Right. They can also go to Barnes & Noble has the book now. Amazon.com has the book now. My webpage, by the way, is Chronic Pain Gone 90 Days, in case it's not the spelling of the word, it's 90 days. Right. So if you go to my webpage, you'll get more information. If you go to Amazon.com, the book is available there. It's also available at Barnes & Noble. Not in all the stores, but if you go into a store and they don't have it, they'll get it for you. And with this said and done, is there a doctor referral that we need to on following this diet? Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the other problem. You know, it's like I make some claims in the book. You don't need a doctor to get rid of chronic pain. You don't need health insurance to get rid of chronic pain. But that's the kind of system we're all mired down in now. Hopefully better in Canada. But here, you know, it's like you pay big premiums. You go to doctors. Frankly, they're befuddled about chronic pain. So you just have tests, more tests, drugs, more drugs, and your condition never really goes away until finally you end up at pain management, which means you're taking OxyContin, Percocet, oxycodone. These are all opioids that are like taking heroin, and that's the only answer they have. So, you know, you can take the reins and take control of your condition by making the changes that I suggest in this book.
And that again is chronicpaingone90days.com. Dr. Daniel Twogood. I love your last name, Twogood. It's like too good to be true, and it is true, because if you eliminate what we were talking about, you can be chronically pain-free, correct?
Yes, and let me go over the list one more time just to give you the basics.
Please.
By far the most common cause of chronic pain is casein in milk and dairy foods, which includes caseinate, which is in non-dairy coffee creamers, protein shakes, soy cheeses, etc. After that, it's chocolate. Anybody who reacts to dairy foods reacts to chocolate. Chocolate is the most powerful cause of pain. After that, it's MSG, monosodium glutamate in processed foods. Also aspartame, which is NutraSweet or Equal, which is in diet sodas and diet foods. And after that, before medications, is a substance called gluten. Gluten is the main protein in wheat, and you've heard a lot about that lately, and people assume that gluten, you know, must be avoided. It's not nearly as common as casein in causing pain, but it is for about 10% of people who suffer with chronic pain. Gluten is a problem, and usually if you have gluten, which is in bread, pasta, cakes, cookies, crackers, and if you have a problem with it, it causes inflammation, you also react to the casein in dairy foods. After that, it's medications, the main one being the cholesterol pills, and the chronic use of anti-inflammatories actually causes chronic pain. Taking all those aspirin every day or taking ibuprofen every day eventually will feed the inflammation more than it'll eliminate it. And then after that, the one thing I do say, the 10th chapter, is cigarette smoking. And the reason cigarette smoking is bad is, you know, in 1994, they had to, the industry had to come out and admit what they put in their product. You can go to the internet and see it if you type in ingredients in cigarettes. There are 599 substances in cigarettes. Oh, the first 2 pages are A's, you know, and they're all words you can't pronounce, but in cigarettes are chocolate, milk solids, and monosodium glutamate. Then I have a chapter called The Good News, and the good news is if you can be disciplined and do this program for 90 days or eliminate the main triggers that cause your pain for 90 days, most likely you won't have to do that forever. You'll find that your sensitivity to these things will decline, and if once in a while you want to have a pizza or a piece of chocolate, you'll get away with it. There are some people, though, that every time they have any of it, they have a reaction that causes some sort of pain.
Right, and build your immune system, too, by doing it more or less, too, getting it off and sticking with the diet. So, Dr. Daniel Twogood, I want to thank you very much and taking some time and talking about how we can eliminate chronic pain. And again, your book, Chronic Pain Gone 90 Days. Check out the website again, chronicpaingone90days.com. Doctor, you're more than welcome to come on the show anytime. I greatly appreciate it.
Great, I'll be in touch, and thank you very much, and I hope your listeners got some information they can use.
I hope so too. Thank you very much. Stick around because we have your word of the day coming up here on Entertainment Extra on RemicTV.com. Welcome back to Entertainment Extra with Joe Crawford on RemicTV.com. I want to thank Dr. Twogood for giving us all that wonderful information about losing chronic pain in 90 days. You know what? I'm going to try it out and see if it actually works. I get some chronic pains within my neck, and that causes bad headaches and migraines, and I'm going to see if actually his system works. And you can check out, again, please do his website, chronicpaingone90days.com. The link will be in our description down below in the video. I promised you our word of the day, so here it is. Our word of the day is lugubrious. Lugubrious. L-U-G-U-B-R-I-O-U-S. Lugubrious. And its actually meanings is mournful, dismal, or gloomy, especially in an affected, exaggerated, or unrelieved manner. I thought with having Dr. Twogood with us here, that would be a good word. Lugubrious. hopefully these words of the days are making you a little smarter around your workplace, maybe around the water tank talk there. Okay, keep it around on RemixTV.com because we have a lot of shows, and check them all out. For Entertainment Extra, I'm Joe Crawford. Okay, that's done.